Phases of compilation process. Now first we define what is compilation process. Compilation process is a sequence of various phases such as lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer, intermediate code generator, machine independent code optimizer, code generator, machine dependent code optimizer, etc. Each phase takes input from its previous stage, has its own representation of source program, and feeds its output to the next phase of the compiler. So, what are the different phases of compilation process? Now, there are different phases of compilation process. They are: first is lexical analysis, next is syntax analysis, third is semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, fifth is code optimizer, and last one is code generation. Now see this figure. Now these are the phases of compilation process shown in the diagram. Now first we discuss lexical analysis. This phase is the first phase of compiler process, which scan the source program as a stream of characters, and those characters are grouped to form a sequence called lexema, which produces token as output. Token Token is a sequence of characters that represent lexical unit which matches with the pattern such as keywords, operators and identifiers. Lexema is instance of token, that is group of characters forming a token. Now see this screen. Form of tokens as angle bracket token name, any valid token name, and comma attribute name. For example, C equal to A plus B multiply 5. Here C equal to A plus B multiplication symbol 5 or lexemas. A, B, C are identifiers. Equal to sign is assignment symbol, plus is addition symbol, multiplication star is multiplication symbol, and 5 is a number. They are called tokens. Hence, id equal to 1 equal to id 2 plus id 3 multiplication symbol 5. Now next phase is a syntax analysis. This phase is the second phase of compiler process, which is also called as parsing. Parser converts the token produced by lexical analyzer into a tree like representation called parse tree. A parser tree describes the syntactic structure of the input. So the first figure shows a parse tree. Syntax tree is a compressed representation of the phrase tree in which the operators appear as interior node and the operands of the operator are the children of the node for the operator. Consider an example: C equal to A plus B star 5, and the second figure shows a parse tree. of this expression. Third phase is semantic analysis. Semantic analysis is the third phase of compiler. This phase checks for the semantic consistency. Type information is gathered and stored in symbol table or in the syntax tree, and this is the diagram shows a semantic analysis. Next, fourth phase is intermediate code generator. Intermediate code generator produces intermediate representation for the source program, which are of the following forms. First form, postfix notation. Second is 3 address code, and third is syntax tree. Most commonly used form in the 3 address code. Now this is the example: t1 equal to integer to float of 5, t2 equal to id3 multiplication symbol t1, t3 equal to id2 plus t2, and id1 equal to 33. This is the best example of this intermediate code generator. Now what are the advantages or benefits of intermediate code? Now first benefit is it should easy to produce, and second benefit is it should be easy to translate into target program. Next phase is code optimization. Code optimization phase gets the intermediate code as input and produces optimized intermediate code as output. It results in faster running machine code. It can be done by reducing the number of lines of code for a program. This phase reduces the redundant code and attempts to improve the intermediate code so that faster running machine code will result. During the code optimization, the result of program is not affected. To improve the code generation, the optimization involves deduction and removal of dead code, unreachable code, calculation of constants in expression and terms, collapsing of repeated expression into temporary string, loop unrolling, moving code outside loop, removal of unwanted temporary variables. For example, t1 equal to id3 multiplication 5.0, id1 equal to id2 plus t1. Next phase is code generation. This phase is the final phase of compilation process. This phase gets input from code optimization phase and produces the target code or object code as a result. Intermediate instructions are translated into a sequence of machine instruction that performs the same tasks. The code generation involves first allocation of register and memory, second generation of correct references, third generation of correct data types, and fourth generation of missing code. Now, for example, ldf r2 id3, mulf rd2 hash 5.0, ldf r1 id2, ADDF R1, R2, STF ID1, R1. Now these are the phases of compilation process. Now next topic is symbol table management and error handling. Symbol table is used to store all the information about identifiers used in the program. It is a data structure containing a record for each identifier with fields for the attributes of the identifier. It always finding the record for each identifier quickly and to store or retrieve data from that record. Whenever an identifier is detected in any of the phases, it is stored in the symbol table. Now this is the table shows a symbol table management. In error handling, each phase can encounter errors. After detecting an error, a phase must handle the error so that completion can proceed. In lexical analysis, errors occur in separation of tokens. In syntax analysis, errors occur during the construction of syntax tree. In semantic analysis, errors occurs during type conversion. In code optimization, error occurs when the result is affected by the optimization. In code optimization, errors occur when the code is missing. Now, this is the explanation of symbol table and error handling. Now, next is study of high level language, that is HLL. The first high level language was introduced in the 1950. A high level language is a programming language that enables development of a program in much user friendly programming and independent of the computer's hardware architecture. High level languages are designed to be used by the human operator or the programmer. In other words, their programming style and context is easier to learn and implement than low level languages, and the entire code focuses on the specific program to be created. A high level language does not require addressing hardware constraints when developing a program. Every single program written in high level language must be interpreted into machine level before being executed by the computer. Now, ADA, Algol, Basic, COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, Java, Pascal, Prolog, etc. are the examples of high level languages. Now, what are the benefits of high level languages? The first benefit is it is easy to write, it is easy to read, it is easy to maintain, and it is portable. Now, these are the benefits or advantages of high level languages. Now, next is characteristics of good programming language. Every computer requires appropriate instruction set, that is programs, to perform the required tasks. The quality of the processing depends upon the given instructions. If the instructions are improper or incorrect, then it is the result will be superfluous. A good programming language must be simple and easy to learn and use. It should provide a programmer with a clear, simple, and unified set of concepts that be grasped easily. A good computer program should have following characteristics. Now, first characteristics is portability. Portability refers to the ability of an application to run on different platforms, that is, operating systems, with or without minimal changes. Second characteristics is readability. The program should be written in such a way that it makes other programmers or users to follow the logic of the program without much effort. If a program is written structurally, it helps the programmers to understand their own program in a better way. Even if some computational efficiency needs to be sacrificed for better readability, it is advisable. Next characteristics of good programming language is efficiency. Every program requires certain processing time and memory to process the instructions and data. Code efficiency is directly linked with algorithmic efficiency and the speed of runtime execution for software. It is the key element is ensuring high performance. The next characteristics is a structural. Now, in these characteristics, to develop a program, the tasks must be broken down into a number of subtasks. These subtasks are developed independently, and each subtask is able to perform the assigned job without the help of any other subtasks. If a program is developed structurally, it becomes more readable, and the testing and documentation process also gets easier. The next characteristics is a flexibility. A program should be flexible enough to handle most of the changes without having to rewrite the entire program. Most of the programs are developed for a certain period and they require modifications from time to time. For example, in case of payroll management, as the time progresses, some employees may leave the company while some others may join. Hence, the payroll application should be flexible enough to incorporate all the changes without having to reconstruct the entire application. Next characteristics is generality. Generality means if a program is developed for a particular task, then it should also be used for all similar tasks of the same domain. For example, if a program is developed for a particular organization, then it should suit all the other similar organizations. And the last characteristics of good programming language is documentation. Documentation is one of the most important components of an application development. A well documented application is also useful for other programmers because even in the absence of the author, they can understand it. Now, all these are the characteristics of good programming languages.